Are you sitting on a gold mine while wondering where your next dollar is going to come from? The reason why I'm asking this is because I have recently had a couple of experiences with some people that I've been talking to where, from my perspective, they have a vault filled with gold bars. And instead of opening them that vault and and utilizing what is in there, instead, these people tend to seek outside of themselves to try to come up with a solution for their income problem. For instance, what do you have already that you've already created that you might even dismiss because maybe the information is a little outdated, or it's off brand, or it's not finished, or it's not good enough, it's not professional? How many of these things do you have at your disposal that you are underutilizing? And are things like perfectionism, overthinking, shiny object syndrome, not good enoughism, or trying to reinvent the wheel over and over and over again? Are all of these or any of these stopping you from moving forward in your business? The intention for today's rant would be for you to pause, take a moment, and take stock of what you already have. Have you created things in the past? Have you recorded videos in the past? Have you written ebooks? Do you have any content that you have already done that you might have put aside thinking, well, I did that master class, that's over with now, and it's just sitting there collecting dust? Consider revisiting the things that you've already accomplished to see how you can utilize these things today. For instance, do you have recordings of a virtual session, or a series, a program, a class, a master class, what have you, that you can go back to and either edit it to make it become an evergreen course, or take a talk that you did and splice it into pieces, bite-sized pieces, and turn those into reels for social media? Or you can even take the transcripts from the recordings and turn that into an ebook, a lead magnet, bonus thing that you offer in addition to whatever you're offering now, an outline for a book, or create a new program but utilize some of the information from that other program that you did in the past, or simply uploading your videos to YouTube and growing your YouTube channel as a result of all of this delicious content that you're putting out. I believe that we undervalue our assets because to us, it's in the past, it's passe. Maybe that's no longer where you're at now, or that's maybe off brand to what you're doing now. However, you are seeing your journey through your own eyes, but you don't necessarily see what other people are perceiving. So even your old content could be very relevant to your target audience, because oftentimes our target audience is us in the past. So why not take some of your past content and present it to these people to see if that somehow strikes a chord within them because it resonates with where they are today. Also, the perfectionism aspect of it. Oh, these aren't completed. Oh, I don't have an intro and an outro for each thing. Or, oh, I can't start taking payments because I don't have a logo and branding colors. Don't let your branding interfere with your ability to create income. This is not the first time I've seen this happen. You don't have to start with the brand. And am I shooting myself in the foot here? Possibly, because I'm supposedly this brand expert and I'm telling you not to worry about your logo. But what I am trying to get across to you is look at what you can be doing right now to be generating income. Some of these things that you think are essential to that are not, they're secondary. Focus on producing income generating activities in the moment and look at your low hanging fruit. Who is already there? Who has already been your follower for a long time that maybe you've never reached out to? They're liking your posts, they're commenting on your posts, they're watching every bit of your content that you put out there, even if they don't even like it or engage with it in any way, they're still viewing the content. And there's a lot of people out there that do that, by the way. So your social media content is probably getting a much higher reach than you think because you're focusing on, are they liking it? Are they commenting on it? Are they sharing it? Are they messaging you? Maybe they're not doing any of these things, but in the background, they might just be, you know, stalking you, pouring through your feed, watching everything you put out, and you could be creating a big impact in these people's lives and not even know it. And maybe you're too busy creating a new thing, a new iteration, reinventing the wheel over and over and over again. And you're looking for new leads. It's all got to be new, 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 and shiny new, shiny new, shiny new, right? The shiny object syndrome. And yet you have a pool of people over here that already are in your sphere of influence and you're not utilizing it. So you're not utilizing the audiences that you already have, and you're not utilizing the assets that you've already created. And you might not even be utilizing the knowledge that you already have because you're too busy trying to go out and learn all of the things. Let me tell you something. You will never learn all of the things. Let it go. You already have your core competencies. In fact, trying to learn all of these things out here are only diluting your profitability and your impact and your ability to become successful. Focus, even on one thing, can be massively effective, whereas a split focus amongst 100 different things might not ever move the needle. So instead of piling more things onto your plate, instead of, I've never done this before, but I'm going to sign up for this program so I can learn this now. And I've never done this before, and I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do this. And you're piling up all these to-dos onto your plate. Maybe in 10 years, you might yield results, maybe even in 5 years. But what is it doing for you today? If you're financially set, maybe you don't have to worry about that. Maybe you can look into outside endeavors that, if I wanted to, and I was bored and I had leisure time on my hands, I might learn to play the guitar or something. But as a matter of moving the needle forward, especially if you're feeling financially strained or overwhelmed, or you can't find enough time in the day to do the things that need to get done, then picking up these new skills isn't necessarily the top priority for you right now. So instead of worrying about having everything dialed in on your website, or you know doing a brand refresh, or recreating a new logo, or any of these things that you feel need to be done, could be just polishing the stone, but the stone is still there, right? Even if it's not polished, it's still there. This is actually why some of my videos, in fact, most of my videos, if not all of them, are pretty rough, because I am not worried about getting them perfect, getting them professional. I am worried about getting this content out there to you so you can listen to what I have to say, because what I have to say might be the thing that helps you move forward in your business. So I'm not going to allow perfectionism to keep me from getting this content to you. So what content do you have that you're not disseminating to your following because it's not 100% there? It's not 100% dialed in. Look at it from the perspective of, how can I get this to these people that need this as quickly as possible? I hope this resonates with you in some way. I hope that you pick one thing today that could move the needle forward for you. If you have content in your past that you might not have considered using because, oh, I did that years ago, that's so old. Oh, I don't even look like that anymore. Or whatever it is that's stopping you, just take a moment to consider that these things that are stopping you aren't that big of a deal. And so just let go of these notions of getting it 100% of the way there. I heard once that if you hire somebody to do something for you and they can do it 80% of the way that you would do it, that's good enough. Just outsource, let them do it for you. Even if it's not 100%, it's 80%. Is it good enough, right? So now you're grappling with not only yourself being good enough, but now you're grappling with, well, if 100% of me isn't good enough, then 80% of me definitely isn't good enough, right? So let it rest. You put more pressure on yourself than anybody else would. Sometimes people can be their own worst critic. So try to look at your own content from an outside perspective and think to yourself, could this be incredibly helpful, useful, relevant to somebody out there? And withholding this is an absolute cruel thing to do. Just look at it from that lens of, am I hoarding this and not allowing anybody else to see how awesome this is because of XYZ over here that is inconsequential to anybody else except you, because you're the only person who sees what it's supposed to look like. And that's where sometimes our visions can trip us up a little bit, because you have a vision of what it's supposed to look like. And if it doesn't look like that on the outside, then you're thinking to yourself, I'm a failure, I can't use this, this is garbage, I'm gonna have to just chuck it all into the trash and start from zero again. Think of ways to use it in some capacity. Either it's editing it, or grabbing the content and repurposing it somewhere else. Whatever it is, look at your own creations from the perspective of, how can I best utilize this now? So you're not having to start over every single time. You're not recreating a new course every time. You're pulling stuff from your own library that you've already created and giving it a new angle and a new life. So I hope this helps you in some way, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.